god Anubis, and now I'm very confused, so I'll just put the word. Hello everyone and welcome to Fins and Whiskers. If you're new here, make sure you boop that subscribe button in the nose and we'll get into the video. For today's video, I thought we would go ahead and make another rating your aquariums video. And the last one I was very sick and this one I'm not. So I asked you guys on Twitter and also our aquarium community, which if you don't know, our aquarium community on Discord, we are the largest aquarium community on Discord and we have all kinds of experienced keepers and beginners. So if you're interested in being around a community that talks about fish all the time, then you should consider joining. I will start with the tanks on the aquarium community because you guys are special. So the first one is from the Underworld 14 and they have a 20-gallon high with a betta, 7 corridoras, and 3 amano shrimp. And so far I really like the layout. I love that you have so many plants. I really love the jungle look, and it seems that you also have a pattern of rocks on the floor, which is cool. And your betta looks very healthy. I'm not sure what's on the front of the glass. That's like kind of like a circular thing. I'm not really sure what that's for, but other than that, it's very aesthetically pleasing. I like that you have hides for your betta as well. And the corridors I don't see in this photo. They're probably hiding around. But wait, I see them right here. I'm so blind. They actually kind of merge into the substrate of it. I see 3 and they look pretty chunky and big, so that's nice, and they look healthy. I don't know if maybe you will need to maybe upgrade their enclosure in the future because I feel like 7 is not overstocked, but they get big and they do like to go into space vertically and horizontally, so consider that. This one I will rate a 7 out of 10. Now this next one is from Full Fire on Discord, and they said that they can't get live plants right now, so everything is fake, but it is enough to keep 2 coolie loaches and a betta hidden away all day. Now I do agree that live plants are so much better than fake plants, but with everything going on in the world, it's perfectly understandable that you have fake plants right now, and it's something that you can get later on. It's something that you can upgrade very easily, so thank you for mentioning that. I think it's still important to realize that we can always improve our pet care. I do see 2 Marimo balls. I can't remember what they're called, but there's something like that. So that's a start, and I see a jellyfish. I'm not sure. I don't know if the fins of the betta will be affected by that. I'm not sure if anything could be too sharp, but betta fins are pretty sensitive, so I would just keep an eye on that. But I do like that you've included hides for the betta and that you do still have some real plants in there, like the Amazon swords. The sand looks really nice. It looks like a great start, and yeah. So for this one, I will rate this a 5 out of 10. So the next one is from Night Elf, and they sent a 30-gallon community tank, and I really like it. I love the use of the kabamba to the left, and that you just like have it growing in that one area. And another plant, I think that's guppy grass, but don't quote me on that. And the hornwort live plants are always a great thing. Now I think this is stocked with shrimp. I definitely see shrimp, and I see tetras I think too. But it looks really nice. It's a 30-gallon and there's lots of hides and stuff, which is really cool. Especially for the shrimp, they love going into the weirdest corners, so that's awesome. And I also see leaf litter and challah wood, which is great for shrimp, so that's really nice to see. It looks like you've given them some really nice enrichment, so I will give this one 8 out of 10. This next one is from Lord Mango, and it is a Cardinal Tetra tank, and also I think I see rummy noses in there, and it looks amazing. I love seeing how you've placed the plants in kind of like a cylinder form. I think it really shapes the tank very well, and especially for being the only plant in there, I think it really works well. I also see that they are in a sufficient group of tetras, so that's amazing to see because they need at least 6 to be a school, and that's great. I love seeing the way people aquascape because it can be so different, and especially when you're not just like carbon copying like what we think is like the best layout for like a standard for a planted tank. You know, like Amazon swords in the background, and you've got your plants up front and all that. So I think this is really nice. It's like a breath of fresh air to see something different, even if that is just one plant, and the way you've laid it out makes it look amazing. And I'm pretty sure those tetras love going in between the plants. So I love this, and I will also give this a 7 out of 10. So the last one from Discord is from Willard, and they have a Blackwater tank, and it looks amazing. I love the driftwood. I absolutely love the different pieces and sizes and the way you've put it, and the leaf litter. I'm not sure what's stocked in the tank, but I'm pretty sure they're happy. Blackwater, if you don't know what Blackwater tanks are, they're basically a tank with lots of tannins, and tannins are completely healthy for fish. In fact, I often include them for my autocinklus because they love to graze on them. So, and I do see some plants in there, but plants aren't usually the main piece of a Blackwater tank, but this is really nice. You found some really great driftwood pieces and put them together amazingly, so I will give this one a 10 out of 10. Of course, there's always room to improve, but it's amazing to see and to put these kind of tanks in the spotlight because a lot of thought went into them, and you can tell that they really put their time and effort into it. So now moving on to Twitter. The first one from Twitter is from BenXL89, and it's a 30-gallon Fluval Flex, and it's beautiful. I mean, I'm not usually a fan of curved tanks, but this one looks amazing, and the plants look really green and healthy, which is amazing to see. And I love the way that you hardscaped it. I'm pretty sure they scaped it with dragonstone, which is really pretty. And they laid it out very nicely. So for plants, I see Anubis. I feel like I'm thinking of the god Anubis, and now I'm very confused. So I'll just put the word here. And I think the red plant in the background is Rotella rotundifolia, and it's a great plant. So I think it's something that you use CO2 for, so I'm not sure if this is using CO2, but if not, amazing. It can grow in tanks without CO2, you just have to be on top of it and dose fertilizers. So this tank is really amazing, and I see that it's also stocked with tetras, I want to say, and cories. And whoa, these cories look amazing. I'm not sure what type this is actually, but it looks amazing. I love them. Let me know what kind of cories those are because they're pretty cool. But this tank is amazing, as I've said like a billion times now, and I give this one a 10 out of 10. So this next one is from Brianne, and she has a 55-gallon community tank that is planted, and it looks awesome. I love the layout and of the hardscape and the usage of the plants around it. I think it makes it look really full. I'm not really sure what's stocked in here. It's kind of hard to see with the reflections. I think I see tetras again though. It's gonna be funny if none of these are actually tetras and I just keep, oh, that's a tetra. It's looking really great. I think I see guppies. It's really hard to see. It's just like a blur. But I love the layout a lot. It definitely looks like there is a bit of algae going on, or like something covering the plants, maybe even waste. So I would maybe try and clean that up because it does desaturate the plants a little. So my rabbit is here. So something to work on maybe, but it's beautiful, and I give this one a 7 out of 10. This one is from Ian on Twitter, and they say that this is their dad's fish tank because they don't have their own yet. So, hello Ian's dad. I'm not sure what size this tank is, but it looks like a pretty basic aquarium. You've got your substrate and some fake plants and a piece of driftwood, which is an okay start. And I also do see a start of Amazon swords in the background as live plants, which is always good to see. It does look like some of the Amazon swords are starting to get a bit leggy and reaching for light. So the light may be a bit too dark for these plants. However, it does look like a standard aquarium tank, and you've got your tetras. I feel like everyone has tetras. I'm not personally a fan of colored substrates, but it does look like a very spacey tank. I do recommend having some hides. Obviously, aquarium lights can be expensive, so working with things like hides and different driftwoods can work really well in a tank like this, especially if you can't get a decent light. So hardscapes are also really nice, so something to consider. My friend Daniela from Cutie Reptiles has a bunch of aquarium hides that you can check out, and I think it would look great in this tank, so you can check that out. But other than that, I think it looks like a beginner's tank. I think it's still a good space for the stock, and so I will give this one a 4 out of 10. Now this one is from Sarah on Twitter, and she says, looking at all these beautiful tanks, and then there's my mess. But girl, what are you talking about? This looks amazing. I love the driftwood pieces in there that you have. The plants look healthy. I see Anubias again. I really love the use of the driftwood to the right with the Anubias on top. I think it looks like kind of tree-like, which is really cool to see. And you've got tetras, and I think platies as well. I'm not sure because it's a blur, but it looks great. So I don't know what you're talking about. Your tank is very pretty as well. I will give this one an 8 out of 10. If you hear nibbling noises in the background, it's my gerbils. They decided to be the loudest today as I'm recording, as they like to do when I'm talking. So yeah, but the next one is a saltwater tank from @ReefBunker. And honestly, I will start this off by saying I'm not experienced with saltwater tanks at all. I've never had one, so it's not really my place to say if this is a good tank or not. So I'm just gonna say, aesthetically wise, it's very pleasing and the fish look very vibrant, but I can tell that you've put a lot of effort into it and the scape is beautiful. So I will give this one a 9 out of 10. Now the last one is from Cowardly Lafard on Twitter, and this is a guppy tank in a cylinder tank, and it has live plants. I'm pretty sure those are crypts, and they look nice. And I like the decoration in the middle. That's also a filter. That's pretty cool to see. At least it's an air stone. But it's awesome, and I think the mushrooms work really well with the crypts. It kind of looks like a forest. And the guppies are really beautiful as well. They look healthy too, and I like it. Again, cylinder tanks are not really my favorite, and this one does look a bit small for the guppies. I think they would appreciate a bit more space, especially lengthwise. I think they really appreciate horizontal space, so something to think about as well. So I'll give this one a 6 out of 10. But that is it for this video. If you didn't get a chance to submit your fish tank, I will be doing this again in the future, and you can always check on my Twitter or the Discord for that. Before we go, I just want to talk a little bit about this tank because I love it. And this is my autosynclus tank, and if you didn't know, I'm actually breeding autosynclus right now, and we have 1 autosynclus fry and 3 adult autosynclus. 3 of my other autosynclus have passed away. Some I've had over 2 years, and then who knows how old they were in the wild. The lifespan of autosynclus are 3 to 5 years, so I'm not too surprised, but they are not as active as you can see because throughout this whole video, you've probably not even seen one autocyclist, and that's because they're too shy right now. Autocyclists tend to come out more when they are an efficient show, so I always recommend at least 6, and of course with the quarantine I can't get any more right now, so there's only 3, and I feel kind of sad about that because they won't come out, and so yeah. So that's going on, but otherwise the autocyclist Fry is doing amazingly. He's healthy, and I'll put a picture here so you can see him. And let me know what other videos you would like to see in the aquarium hobby. Make sure to like the video, boop that subscribe button in the nose, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!